Hey, hi, hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess. Yes, I'm still filming in this corner. I've been here a month. We still do not have our household goods, so I have nothing to put behind me as a good backdrop, okay? Okay, so, what did I say? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess. Did I say that already? We're here for another installment of Book Community because I haven't felt some confusion like this in a while where I'm on threads and I have no idea what is going on. And so I've just been like, trying to piece it together. And so I figured if I was struggling, then someone else out there is also struggling to figure out what the is going on. So I'm here to put it together for you in the best way I know how. Now, this is not saying this is 1000% accurate because again, it's hard to put together timelines and things when people like to be vague. Some people are saying something, some people are not, or they're not saying a name. However, I think I got the overall idea of what was happening. So to give you a better understanding of what's going on, if you've been on threads, seeing a lot of vague posting, or you've seen something about H.M. Wolf, I think is the author's name. If you've seen the name Erica, they're not talking about Erica Kirk. So I'm here for you to let you know what's going on. Anything to mention first? Let's see. I'm hungry. If you hear my stomach growl, no, you didn't. Mind your business. 2, my travel trips are still, Iceland is full, but you can add yourself to the wait list. So if something does happen, unfortunately, to someone else and they can't go, you'd get bumped up. You would get notified so that you could join the trip. And then also my Christmas markets trip, which obviously is until December. Iceland is in the end of September, but Christmas markets still have spots if you'd like to go to Munich, Vienna, Salzburg with me for Christmas. Well, it's not on Christmas, it's before Christmas. It's like December 15th to the 21st. Christmas present to yourself early. That info is down below. I think that's it. Also, I think the dryer is on the other side of this wall. So if you can hear it, I'm so sorry. It's going to be, it's working its hardest because it's raggedy. Anyway, without further ado, what the heck is happening? What the heck is happening on threads? Because Lord have mercy, and it's still not perfect. So I'm going to have that up, and then I'm also going to pull up threads because I have a lot of things that I have saved on here to help navigate what's been going on. Some things you may have seen on threads and you're like, what is going on? H.M. Wolf, maybe the word Daggermouth, which is their book. Lunar Literary Agency also may have seen a lot of authors talking about they're leaving their agency. So these things all go together. From what I can tell, Lunar Literary Agency has a bunch of authors, but they specifically had some authors who have been engaging in some like online harassment, racism, bullying, and now a lot of it is coming to light because of a person's post, and now a lot of people are comfortable with coming forward and saying things they have experienced and or now stating that they are leaving the agency. So as far back as I see it, that I can tell, it could be earlier, is November. There's an author, let me put this right here, Gigi Zarby, at least the name on threads, that posted some screenshots and mentioned that this was back in November, that they also were naming names, that they were experiencing some racism from certain authors. Now, they confided in someone who was, I'm guessing white based on their post, saying that allies, if a person of color confides in you about racism they're experiencing, it's not your place to, try to refute that, tell other people about it. So Gigi was experiencing racism, confided in someone and one other person, but then somehow this got out. So she's like, obviously, it's one of you. And one of these people that she had confided in was, I believe, Emily Glitter Pen Edits, who I think was an editor. And so she decided to end that relationship and part ways. Gigi had messaged, hey, so I only told you and one other person about GE, and GE is G.E. Masters, I believe, an author. And someone ratted between the two of you to her directly and put me in the position to be further harmed. So I'm going to have to cancel us working together. I no longer feel safe at all. Unsure I'll even continue releasing books after Toxic. The response from, I'm guessing, Emily says, I'm really sorry about that. I didn't feel comfortable being put in that position. Now, there's also a bookstagrammer slash PA, which is an epidemic of itself, that's also in this mess. And that is Erica, that name I was seeing. So Erica, people have been saying, has also been being racist, because I believe this is a white person, to authors. And Erica is also the PA for H.M. Wolf, author of Daggermouth. Now, Daggermouth was, I believe, independently published, but now it gained a lot of traction online. And recently the author announced a major trad pub book deal. So H.M. Wolf's PA, Erica, there have been allegations that they have been racist towards other authors, including Gigi. So one of the screenshots that Gigi had was about Erica, and showing like deleted reviews. And there was a bunch of stuff online that happened that led to Gigi blocking Erica and that GE Masters person. So again, her editor shared her claims, and she said this just made the harassment worse. She was being attacked, including review tampering, nasty DMs, and more. So then, and Erica tried to refute the claims of Gigi by posting certain screenshots and stuff, but obviously Gigi has a lot of posts. Here are some from Erica that said, if you stumble across screenshots of 2 of my reviews being edited to say remove, I'd just like to add that I did so 3 days prior to this author reactivating and blocking me. I have timestamped screenshots. 3 days prior to this author A, was messaging people about another author B, who was their friend and is my close friend, stating that author B supports AI and is a closet racist. This is wildly false, inappropriate to be sharing with mutual professionals, defamatory. I'm trying not to drop that fucking MacBook on the floor. This is where I get confused, because I just don't fully understand all of these screenshots. So I'm deleting some of this out of here. I had some more screenshots that I was going to read, but then later last night, more people had posted on Threads and shared more screenshots, including Erica actually sharing screenshots and like stuff of what she did. So I'm going to include that further once I recap kind of this timeline. So I apologize if it's kind of all over the place, but there's just a lot of players involved. And then after I recorded this, more people came to Threads to post about it. So I will include more from Erica later. And then there's screenshots with GE Masters. And then we're bringing in another author, Ophelia. That is another person who is in all of this mess, who is also being alleged, since they are a white, I believe, to be racist towards authors of color. There's also a screenshot conversation of Ophelia going into an author's DMs, asking if, I believe, some of their artwork, I don't know if it was their book cover, was AI, and this person is explaining no. So the screenshots is on Instagram. Ophelia messages person, says, I think this is AI. Did you pay for this? The author responds, hey, it's not. I understand the concern, but I know this artist well in real life and was actively involved in her process to create this piece. Thanks for the concern. Ophelia responds, that is your choice, but I would encourage you to ask her for a time lapse in case people ask about it, since we are all trying to not support people who use it. Response, in good faith, because you're someone I respect and consider myself aligned with in the community, I would ask you to reflect on your approach here. I understand your concerns about generative AI. I've spoken at length about being against myself, and I always hire human artists. This art that I commissioned over 2 years ago and first released over a year ago, I did see the time-lapse process. And again, I appreciate where you're coming from, but we are all trying to not support people who use it is giving me uncomfortable vibes. I don't know what there is between you and I. Jess, my artist, is a fellow queer Latina who, again, is a real life friend. One of my biggest fears about mob mentality of anti-AI is how it's weaponized most effectively against racialized, queer, and other marginalized artists. Please consider that as a white presenting woman, when a marginalized woman gives you an answer regarding her business practices, are you actually improving this community by pushing further? Olivia, or Ophelia, said, this is an interesting response. I'm not sure where to even begin with that. As an artist, I only came out of concern for you. If I wanted to mob you, why would I bother coming to you privately? You can do what you want. Nobody is forcing you. I was only asking questions since I can't really support artists and authors who do use AI. I wish you luck on your journey. So my interpretation of what you are saying is you are not going to support me or my artist now because we haven't proven to you she didn't use AI. Am I misreading this? That was the screenshot that I saw shared of that. So that was Ivy Ophelia, who also, I believe, is repped under Lunar Literary Agency, including H.M. Wolf. Now, back to Erica, who is H.M. Wolf's PA. I guess the one example that I have is just one with Gigi, but there are allegations that Erica has been being nasty to other authors in general, or to hype up HM book, put other people down, and people haven't been seeing HM respond to anything or put out a statement. So there were people alleging on Threads. There was this one account in particular who's very young. I think they're like 20 or 21. Now, of course, most of their posts are deleted or privated, who was alleging that HM was complicit or just as guilty as Erica because this person PA'd for them. They also went as far as to say that HM was doing the same thing, like engaging in the same behaviors, but behind closed doors, and people were asking for proof and they weren't giving any. What really brought this all to a head, because obviously these things have been going on since November. I do not have the screenshots of it all, but this has been a lot of behavior that has apparently been going on for a few months, and several authors have been affected. Now, recently there were these posts by, I believe this person is also a PA, but let me check. I know they're a part of the book community. I just don't know if they're just a bookstagrammer or if they are also a PA. But there are many threads posted by them, so I'm going to try to get to the beginning and read those, because this kind of puts more of this into context. Okay, there's a lot that could be interpreted that is involved in this, but I'm just going to go back to 5 days ago. What if I told y'all a lot of author PAs talk badly about people on the timeline and y'all just don't peep? Production has cut off my microphone. Editing Jessica popping in just to say, because I don't know if I've said this in a while, that none of this, whether you agree with the people or not, is basis for you to ever go attack them on social media. Okay? You don't pop in their DMs. You don't go dogpiling on them. This is just, if you were confused and here's for your information, do not go attack people. Okay? Just a note. So to 3 days ago, there are a bunch of authors and people in this space blocking me and an author of color that I just began working as a PA for under the instruction of a white woman who says she's an ally, but has woven in and out of spaces alleging I'm unsafe for not allowing her to sub-post readers, DNFing books, / questioning our qualifications or right to do so. All I did was address that head on and stand firm that it is problematic to assert a Black woman isn't qualified to write why a book was DNF'd. I'm Black. I very much kept it on mute because I have my own business and I want to be professional, but it's unprofessional and yes, racist for a bunch of white authors and their followers to run around blocking a Black woman and an Asian woman at the instruction of a white woman while simultaneously creating a culture where no one ever can talk about not enjoying a book. I am a single drop in a sea of readers and service providers. Leave me alone. We are all too grown to not hear both sides. Then 2 days ago, I told y'all the wind whispers. Now I have proof. If you or someone you know received a warning DM from November onwards about me, please DM me. Escapism Erica, this is the PA. You are forbidden from slandering my name. You do not have the power to put your mouth on me and it not come back to me, no matter how long it takes. I know that you will slither away and say that you felt threatened and I'm aggressive, racist allegations, but you tried to damage my new business. You are forbidden. Now screenshot and share. Now again, Erica, Escapism Erica, is the PA for H.M. Wolf. So people are like, wait, she's slandering Black women while she's a PA for one, because H.M. Wolf is a Black person. Continuing 2 days ago, know that I appreciate every single one of you who have surrounded me with love and support. Also know that I am not trying to sway people in one direction or the other. That makes me no better than the person who went around telling people not to put me on ARC teams or street teams or hire me for my services. I simply demand that waking up every day to find someone else has unfollowed, blocked me ends. I am a kind, loving person. I live in a drama-free life where I try not to harm others. I cannot give all to my clients because of the anxiety this has caused me presently. I went through months of knowing a white woman was leveraging the pull of her clients to throw weight around to silence people she doesn't care for. I'm getting offline at the instruction of my friends who care about me. I'm also in a fibro flare-up. It's snowing and I very much need to make money. I need to get back to doing my work for my clients because it's fulfilling and is bigger than me. 18 hours ago, as I'm recording this, and it's Tuesday, it is 2 p.m. Central European time. But Cydney said, let me speak my piece real quick. To start, I only take apologies in the form of donations. I also accept donations as a form of support. I lost an entire day of work, a day of peace, bitch. All of this made my cramps worse. And I don't have my anxiety meds, child. If you call me a liar, drama starter, I call my energy back. I know who I am. I know who I was talking to. I was talking to one person. That person still has not apologized or tried to make things right. I don't want that from her now that she's lost things. I think it's important that other conversations of harm take place. I'm a whistleblower by nature. I literally cannot be quiet about injustice or harm for very long. It makes me sick. This might not be that deep for many, but it's that deep for me. When I have blown the whistle in the past, people have used my labor to elevate themselves and their own agendas. Then the conversation becomes less about the harm I endured and more about other people scrambling to get their stories out. My worry yesterday was that I threw myself on a sword and then people were going to build a house on my back. That has been the plight for many Black women in America. It has warmed my heart to see that people are not letting the harm I endured be erased. Then 11 hours ago, I'm seeing misinformation, so I will say this is how it happened for me. This is Cydney. I DNF'd DM, which I believe is Daggermouth by H.M. Wolf. Again, you see, we're tying things together. I kept my review and review spaces because I'm the kind of reader who writes the kind of reviews I look for. The PA sub-posted me and basically said I am not qualified to write extensively why I DNF'd a book. The PA would be Erica. I'm a little crazy, LOL, so I replied to her sub post and said reviews are for readers, etc., etc. Salone Schumacher told her that was racist and she is poorly representing her client. H.M. Wolf. PA, Erica, deleted it and unfollowed me, and from what I thought, proceeded to badmouth me from then on. I now know that she was doing so as early as November, LOL. Author blocked me soon after. That'd be H.M. Wolf. And I assume she knew everything. I love blocking, so I don't care, ultimately. Last night, author unblocked me. I shared the proof everyone was asking for. I have no bad blood with her. I was an early supporter of her books. I am not attacking her for her success and think that it is great that she got a huge book deal. As far as I know, author was not talking about me, but that was her involvement on my end. Again, I was talking to one person yesterday, Erica. So that is how we get to H.M. Wolf, who did make a statement, I think had a couple threads and then a statement, which I'm going to read. But there's too many posts of the authors talking about Lunar Literacy Agency to post here. Like you can just look it up. But I do have one that is a few threads. And so I'll just read this one, but know that there are numerous authors I have come across speaking about Lunar Literacy Agency. So this agency made an offer of rep, ghosted, and then when the author came forward about it, the authors at that agency bullied her into submission. The authors at that agency went on to say the publishing world is small and keep your drama in your group chats in an effort to silence the author from speaking out. And the agent left an emoji on those posts saying, "Isn't that the truth?" 3 people have told me they've received offers and then been ghosted by that agent. One of those authors also called similar indie authors little potatoes in an effort to clap back against indies giving out publishing and marketing advice. Since apparently, if they're not as successful as her, their words don't mean anything. Her PA has bullied 2 of my friends into submission, both people of color, bullied my sensitivity reader, a Black woman, and I've been watching them for a while, waiting to see when their mean girl actions would come full circle. I'm limiting the comments because this post is an FYI, not to dogpile them. Just wanted to share the story for everyone confused over the drama today. It all started when my sensitivity reader was bullied, but this mean girl shit has been going on for a while. And then there's 2 screenshots from the Ivy Ophelia author, I believe. Authors, please get a journal or a group chat in 2026. 90% of discourse can be avoided this way. My biggest advice to people is actually just about that advice. When you consider a piece of advice, look at who it is coming from and what their qualifications are. There's lots of people who talk big harvest with very little potatoes to show for it. And then this is from last year, and Elizabeth said the irony really after what your PA did to Cydney. I rarely give advice because I don't think I'm qualified in many ways, but here's my hot take as someone who has been an artist and public personality longer than I've been an author. If you're an indie author and you want to be successful, you need to conduct yourself like a professional. That means being respectful of your peers, not insulting other genres and authors to bring yourself up, treating ARC readers like humans, and certainly not invading on reviewer spaces. If you can't do the bare minimum, being an author full-time might not be for you. Bad behavior catches up and the internet isn't forgiving whatsoever. Get a small group chat for the big feelings and rants. And lastly, we'll get to H.M. Wolf, who this all circles back to because her PA, Erica, was the one going about and acting a fool. And then people were saying that HM had not said anything and was complicit in Erica's behavior. So she was just posting about her book regularly, and then 2 days ago posted, "Hi guys, I want you all to know that I've been made aware of the allegations circulating. As all of you know, I take concerns about racism and harm very seriously. I'm currently gathering information, looking deeper into this, and will be reaching out directly to those involved. I ask for patience from all of you while I do this." And then 11 hours ago, there was a statement posted, and I will read it. 24 hours ago, this entire situation was brought to my attention, and I have been offline actively working behind the scenes. Since then, I have parted ways with my PA and have been trying to piece together everything else. Every Black woman and woman of color should be able to share their experiences without fear. As a Black woman myself, that is a hill I will die on and something I have been extremely vocal about. This community is and has always been very important to me, and I have tried to do everything in my power to uplift it in any way that I can. I am also very aware that I'm an imperfect person and choosing to block someone can still cause harm, even if it was never my intention, and I will always own that, especially with my platform. Did I block Cydney? Yes, I have blocked many people since joining this community 2 years ago, like many of us have. Did I know at the time that I blocked her that it would cause harm? No, I blocked and moved on, not realizing that was the wrong decision, and I am sorry. Did I make a vague post saying this community is small? Yes, I didn't look at vague posts like that as an act of weaponizing my followers, but I see now some people did. For the last 6 months, I have been on deadlines, which means I'm actively writing. When I'm not writing, I'm sleeping or trying to be present in my everyday life. Most things that go on online are sent to me through text because I stay offline as much as I can for my own mental well-being. I'm not chronically on social media. I do not police what others post or the messages they send in private spaces. I usually post and disappear to get back to work. But I know I have a large platform, so when I have seen people attack or rally against someone on my behalf, I have shut it down. Bullying, fueling it, or condoning it is not who I am or who I have ever been. As a Black author in this space, I've experienced it in every way imaginable, and I would never wish that upon anyone else. BIPOC authors, creators, and service providers are the heart of this community. They are the hardest working people I have ever met, and I will always, always champion them in whatever way I can. There isn't much I can do or say at this point other than say I'm trying. I'm trying every day to navigate this space with grace and kindness and help when called upon to answer questions or give advice or just uplift others. I can see that I have failed at that, and I am sorry. At this point, I need to remove myself from threads. After these last few months, I'm exhausted mentally and emotionally, but I am trying and know that I will always have room to grow and pivot. XO, HM. And because AI has come up in this conversation as I was scrolling down their threads profile, I just want to say that I saw stuff about anti-AI that made me happy. They said, "I need y'all to know if you create AI images with my characters or anything pertaining to my books and whitewash them on top of that, I will block you." That's all. I just wanted to share the announcement, if I can find it, for Daggermouth. Here was the trad announcement notice in Publishers Marketplace. Daggermouth Python in the Heart Duology by H.M. Wolf. It is pitched as true enemies to lovers, dark dystopian romance, perfect for readers who love The Handmaid's Tale, V for Vendetta, The Hunger Games, to Sarah McCabe at Scarlet Press and Jason Pinter at Simon Maverick for audio, in a major deal for 7 figures at auction, and a 2-book deal for publication in 2026 and 2027 by Angie Ojeda Hazen at Lunar Agency. Damn, 7 figures. Shush. Let me read the statement from Lunar Literacy Agency and then we'll wrap this up. Over the last 12 hours, a blizzard swept through my area, causing significant power outages for my family and me. As of this morning, I'm catching up on all the ongoing conversations and correspondence. Thank you for your patience. Since day one, Lunar Literacy Agency has been about one thing, uplifting voices so that powerful stories can reach readers everywhere. It's a mission I believe in deeply, and it shapes every decision I make. I'm grateful every single day to support our authors and to help their work find its audience. I also want to address a few concerns and rumors that have been circulating. First, Lunar Literacy Agency has zero tolerance for racism, period. We are committed to maintaining an inclusive, respectful environment for everyone, our clients, our colleagues, and our partners. We have investigated recent allegations involving a PA who worked with some clients. This is being addressed through the appropriate legal channels, and I want to assure everyone that we take this extremely seriously. Effective immediately, this PA has been removed from her position. Second, the best interests of our authors guide every step we take. Bullying and intimidation have no place here. My door and my inbox are always open if you have questions or concerns. There have been some decisions like contract terminations over AI or difficult rejections over submissions that can be painful. These choices are never made lightly, but always with the goal of keeping the agency standards and relationships strong. Third, I've seen some comments about submissions and concerns around ghosting. I want to be transparent. Our inbox received thousands of submissions and I'm not able to personally review each one. Our team carefully evaluates each submission and brings forward those that might be a strong fit. I then schedule calls to get to know prospective authors and determine if they're the right match. If a manuscript has been completely rewritten since I first saw it, it will need to go through the submission process again, so we're both clear and comfortable moving forward. Representation only happens after we've both signed a contract and fully agreed on the partnership. It's also worth saying that every agent and author will connect perfectly, and that's okay. The relationship has to be right for both sides. Lunar Literacy Agency is more than just a business to me. It's something I care about deeply. Every decision comes from a place of wanting to build a stronger, more inclusive literary community. I'm grateful for the trust you place in us, and I'm always here to listen. We're human, and sometimes we stumble. Like any business, we have moments where things don't turn out the way we hoped. What matters to us is how we respond by learning, improving, and doing better next time. Your feedback helps us grow, and your patience means a lot as we navigate challenges and strive for excellence. So many people are not pleased with that response. And they're saying you said a whole lot of nothing, that this isn't helping your case, that you're not taking accountability. So a few hours later, I go on Threads. And then there's more. Every other post is about the situation. But now, Lunar Literacy Agency put out another statement. Erica, the PA, has put out a bunch of threads with screenshots about her behavior. Some of the main people who are accusing H.M. Wolf of being complicit in Erica's actions posted statements. My Lord. So I'm going to share those and then we can wrap this up. Strap in, is getting wordy. This is the official agency statement from Lunar Literary. As a founder of Lunar Literary and as a Cuban and Puerto Rican woman, these past few days have been some of the most challenging. I want to be honest. The issues raised aren't just professional, they're personal. I poured my heart into building this agency because I truly love books, authors, and the entire book community. Stories have been my safe haven for as long as I can remember. This work isn't just a job to me, it's my passion and the source of so much joy. To see pain and disappointment connected to Lunar Literary has weighed on me more than I can explain. In the past 48 hours, I have been working in the background, taking calls with my authors and giving them space to air their own personal issues. These conversations have been raw, sometimes painful, but always honest. I've listened as authors shared their frustrations, their hopes, and their disappointments, not just about their careers, but about the deeper things that matter to them. I wanted to make sure every voice was truly heard without interruption or defensiveness. I am deeply sorry that my commitment to this community hasn't come across and that some authors haven't felt supported. Lifting diverse voices is the reason this agency exists, and knowing that anyone has felt overlooked or unheard is heartbreaking. I take this very seriously. At Lunar Literary, our core belief is that diverse voices, especially those from BIPOC communities, are necessary for a richer, more truthful literary and social landscape. My decision to represent people of color is rooted in a real desire to support and uplift my own community. Racism, discrimination, and the erasure of marginalized voices have no place here or anywhere in publishing. The agency's mission has always been to uplift, protect, celebrate BIPOC authors and their communities. To reinforce our values, we've implemented a formal agency code of conduct as part of our author admissions process. This code is about making sure every single person here feels respected, included, and safe moving forward. It sets clear expectations around respect, inclusivity, and professionalism for both our agency and everyone we represent. Our policy centers on three main principles: championing the creative work and professional growth of BIPOC authors and all underrepresented voices, safeguarding the rights of authors whose stories, cultures, and lived experiences have been historically appropriated or marginalized, ensuring authentic and inclusive storytelling that reflects the full spectrum of human experience. We also require that every author and illustrator certify their work as original and their own, created without the use or direct contribution of generative AI. Any misinterpretation or breach of our code of conduct will result in immediate rejection of a manuscript or termination of an existing agreement. Bullying, harassment, or intimidation have no place in our agency, professionally or personally. We hold our authors to the same standards of conduct as we hold ourselves, and we are carefully reviewing all concerns that have been brought to our attention. We are committed to ensuring this community remains safe, respectful, and supportive for everyone involved. Please allow me the time to fully work through all issues and concerns that have arisen based on the screenshots of one of our authors with the care and diligence they deserve. I want to make sure every concern is heard and addressed seriously, and that we emerge from this stronger and more accountable to the community we serve. I want you to know how much I care for the stories, for the people behind them, and for the future of this community. We understand that trust is earned through actions, not words. These new policies are only the beginning of our continued commitment to accountability and meaningful change. For anyone who has felt hurt, dismissed, or unsupported by our agency, I am sorry. We are committed to continue evolving and to do better. It's one piece of the puzzle, but now enters Erica, one of our main players. And Erica says, I am truly sorry. Okay, there's a plane. The world is really trying to not let me record. Okay, Erica says, I am truly sorry to Cydney for the harm that I caused her. I take full accountability for my role in this. Policing a Black woman was not my intent, but intent doesn't negate impact. I am prioritizing unpacking the microaggressions and internal biases I have with plans to address them. I know that Cydney wasn't the only one hurt by this, so for transparency, accountability, I've attached a timeline of what I said and to who. Okay, this is a screenshot going around in DMs referenced in the original post. I archived this post shortly after uploading. So this is on December of 2025. The amount of self-appointed superiority I see in these long-winded diatribes of what can be boiled down to I didn't like this is actually so funny, because like, okay then, write your own book. LMAO, you like talking this much anyways. Damn, at least apply it to something you won't moan on end about, hey? I'd heard from Ophelia, I'm assuming, that I was being talked about in DMs more recently, January, February. This is what I told friends. Brain Somerset and her new PA Cydney like to talk shit on me in people's DMs, how I'm an awful PA and how I prioritize my bigger authors and ignore the smaller ones because I was previously Briar's PA, but she refused to give me any work. I should have just ignored it. I should have asked people to stop sending me these screenshots because they weren't good from anyone. And this is a screenshot from December 31st from an author. And I guess it's a personal, like a DM between Cydney and someone. And it was an announcement, Erica, I think, announcing like their PA services. Cydney says, yikes. This person says, new year, new vibes. Cydney says, I def wish that wasn't front page for me, but happy new year, my girl. This is your motherfucking year. Yours too. You got to focus on you. Let the internet be the internet. Like really push your services and yap about yourself. Cydney said, oh, I am 100% on that. I blocked both Briar and Cydney on February 17, 2026 on my own account for my own mental health due to ongoing sub-posts. Anyone else who blocked them did so on their own accord, not at my direction. So this is a screenshot. It says with someone with Cara V. Reynolds. It says, should I block or ignore? What's better for you? I don't see it as a betrayal, LOL. I know you're just bebopping around town. I just have them unfollowed and muted, but whatever you want to do. I want to do what is most respectful to you. Meh, fuck it. I'm going to block both of them right now. There are allegations alleging that I didn't work as hard for Briar Somerset as my other clients. These screenshots are my personal conversation with Briar regarding my role as her PA. I'll be playing around with it and show you something shortly. I'm woefully uneducated in newsletters, but I'll be with Blank in a couple weeks. She's going to show me how to newsletter so I can take over doing hers. So if you want me to do yours once I've learned, I totally can. Hee. Oh my God, I would literally cry. Yes, absolutely. I have no idea what I'm doing. LOL felt. We'll get through this. Lots of heart emojis. Fuck. I've been so buried blank that I forgot to make a release day post. I'm so sorry, dude. Mostly apologizing because I had fully planned on it. LOL. Oh my God, no. Oh my God, you're literally okay. You don't have to. You already made a beautiful post. I feel like I've neglected you. LMAO, please. Is there something I should be doing? Oh my God, no, never. I'm literally chilling right now and I'm on top of the world because holy fuck, that book is done. Other than that, just rough drafting book 3, slay. I love that. Okay, well, any graphics or reels you want made, let me know, or anything else, of course. LMAO, I'm 67% through the book, and damn, bitch. I am deeply sorry for everyone who was hurt by this, for the readers, authors, and my fellow service providers who allowed me into their lives as a safe person. I am doing the internal work to better myself, and I am leaving my DMs open for anyone who has questions about what they have seen or heard regarding my actions. I welcome/am begging for any screenshots demonstrating the allegations made against me, but I provided what I have.
Cydney replied, I do not accept your apology. You know exactly what you did and threatened to sue me as a method to silence me, which is violent as hell. You posted a conversation about Ivy announcing you as her PA as proof that I was talking shit. One, the context of that was having had prior conversations with that author that you had talked about Ivy poorly as recently as September, and me being shocked that you were now her PA. 2, as a PA, I check in and make sure I'm not needed or if I can be delegated to. That's how I operate. But since I posted about you, several people have messaged me that you've been talking about me for months. I want my name out of your mouth and off of your fingertips. You blocked me over Gigi defending herself against your racism last year. When you unblocked and we talked, I told you if you have an issue with me again, you talk to me because I communicate like an adult. I never told people not to work with you or put you on ARC teams like you did to me. Take accountability. Let's not do this back and forth anymore. I have no reason to interact with you. Keep your mouth off me. Be well. And this was one of the people who was on Threads alleging a lot of things against H.M. Wolf, including something separately about a post that H.M. made promoting their book. And there was like some tussling with another author, I think, and somebody claiming that they were using ICE or the situation going on with ICE in Minnesota to promote their book. And anyway, this person was really loud about it on Threads and is now saying, okay, so I've thought of a million ways to word this, but ultimately I don't think any of the context matters. I fucked up big time, and while I want to say it didn't come from a place of racism or jealousy, I am aware that I probably have biases I need to work on. The posts were archived when I realized I was causing more harm than good and were too vague to prove anything. I'll be including screenshots of all of them here. I don't want to unarchive them because I don't want to incriminate those who commented or liked. The fault is on me alone, but if it's asked of me, I will unarchive them. I know part of taking real accountability is taking the consequences head on, so I won't be limiting comments. My apology is owed to H.M. Wolf and the Black readers and authors who have hurt through my actions. I'm extremely disappointed in myself, and I don't know what I can say or do to demonstrate that, but I'm here. I promise I'm not running away from the consequences. And finally, the person I saw talking the most mess about H.M. Wolf, again, this person is very young. They have archived, deleted, whatever, a lot of posts. So again, another thing about this is not attacking a person, but they posted, hey guys, I'm going to take a break off social media for a bit. These last couple of days have been a lot. While I'm aware of everything that's been going on, I need to step back. I've always made my stance clear multiple times over the years as to who I am as a creator in person. I've constantly been an advocate for marginalized communities, especially the Mexican and Latina community. The way that I've done that varies through multiple ways, some in which people might not agree with, and that is okay. I'm not perfect, nor will I ever claim to be. My goal has always been to create a space in which I can learn with my audience and talk about passionate subjects, such as my identity as a queer Mexican woman and college student. Right now, my focus needs to be on myself and my family. I hope that you all can understand. Oh my land, I thought I was done, and then I saw screenshots. I'm delusional. Screenshots from the author, Ivy, Ophelia. Is that her name? And so I'm going to read those, and then truly, that's it. If there's anything else, I'm so sorry. I wanted to take a moment to address the current conversations involving me on Threads. I learned a lot from the gracious feedback over the past couple days, and accountability is owed where it is due. I wanted to take the time to step back from socials before I made any more statements about the current environment on Threads. The last few days I've been working in the background to gather as much information as possible so I can correctly address any harm done. Please do not take my silence as complicity. Before I begin, I want to make clear that my PA, Erica, is no longer employed by me as of Sunday. I'm proud of Cydney for coming forward and bringing to light multiple different situations and missing context where behavior did not align with my beliefs. And I'm endlessly grateful for her time and labor, even when it is not her job to educate me. I won't be hiring any PAs or other team members that I do not know personally in real life and can't guarantee they align with my beliefs. I wanted to address is the AI conversations with a peer last year, LM Ramirez. I didn't consider the power imbalance of me coming into a Latina author space And I see now this may have come off threatening, and I'm so sorry to ever be the source of discomfort like that for anyone. I respected Luna and knew her views on AI, which is why I thought a private heads up would be best. But in this case, it would have been best not to invade her space at all. While I came with good intentions, I understand impact and intent don't always align, and it is damage nonetheless. I never posted anything publicly about this conversation. I absolutely don't condone accusing without proof. I'm sorry for inserting myself where I am not welcome, and I will be more aware, or will be more work to recognize my weak points in social awareness. On a similar note, there is an old tweet circulating where a reader posted AI images of my characters. I made them back before I knew the harms of AI when I was employed by a Web3 game developer in 2022. Since joining the author space, I've learned a lot about the harms of AI and the unethical scraping of art, literature, and photographs. A lot has come out since its inception, especially about exactly where the data comes from, which is why I'm a huge advocate for educating on the harms of AI. It is also why I like to assume the best in people and approach privately to ask them what they know about the issue at hand. I have since stopped doing this, as I have withdrawn from DMs in the past 6 to 8 months, as it is not my place and I have to accept that. I keep logs of time lapses and sketches on my Patreon to ensure my readers know it is authentic, because that is realistically all I can promise. I have grown a lot since I first joined the reader space in 2022 and subsequently the author realm shortly after. Anyone who knows me knows that I don't take these sorts of things lightly and often hyper-focus on trying to understand, especially if I have done something wrong. My delivery needs work at times, and whether or not I meant to harm is not up to me. But it is my responsibility at the end of the day to fix it as best I can. I'll be removing threads from my phone for now and keeping my account as updates only moving forward. I would like to take some time to think about how better to show up for my community while also being more aware of my impact. I'm appreciative of the support and feedback in the past few days. Please don't accept my apology on anyone's behalf. I love you all, and I hope we can continue to share our stories, uplift voices, and continue these important conversations. As part of taking accountability, I've also chosen to donate editing services by paying for 5 BIPOC authors proofread edits up to 90K words in collaboration with Cydney's editing company, that Cydney Author Services. Then somebody said you were fine with people using AI for character references as recently as late as December 2023. You drew the line of using AI for book covers and for commercial use, but it seems to me like you didn't care about the ethicality when it came to character references. Going on AI art witch hunts and shaming authors for not knowing better is incredibly hypocritical, since you state here that you yourself didn't know better at first too. This feels extremely disingenuous. The screenshot says, I can understand using AI to make references as an author, so you have some sort of visual that you can use to keep descriptions consistent, so you can use it to commission artists, but I absolutely cannot get behind AI book covers and using the references commercially. Very quickly, if she was sorry back then about causing discomfort, she would have heard me in the moment instead of blocking me when I explained she didn't need to police marginalized authors. This is an interesting response. Wouldn't have left her fingertips. If she was sorry now, I would have a personal apology and not a public-facing statement. I'm still blocked, by the way. After I posted this, Ivy unblocked me and sent a personal apology, which I haven't read. I will be honest, the timing feels suspect to me, and ultimately, I'm not in a place to read it right now.
So there was that. I hope it helped clear up something for somebody.
Okay, editing Jessica here because this is day 2 of editing this video, and I was just not gonna set up the camera. So anyway, you get this. This is what I look like. And I'm also very hungry. So if my statement's a little out of pocket, let's blame it on the hanger. I think multiple things can be learned from this situation, but will they? Probably not. We are in the year of 2026. I have been an active participant on the bookish internet since 2020. And obviously we see conversations continuously happening. We see things that we think people are going to learn from, and then they don't, and they just keep repeating things. So I think from this, here's what you have to be as a person of color, Black, brown, whatever, in the world, but also in the publishing industry, is wary. You always have to be wary. And I hate to say white people start off at the assumption that they're racist, or they hold racist thoughts, preconceptions, but that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at personally. And then a person can show you who they are. They can demonstrate that they've done work to unpack those things, since it is taught to them so early. And then as adults, they have to learn They have to educate themselves. They have to put themselves around different people. They have to get, hopefully out of, if they grew up in a small town, out of that little bubble, they have to grow, they have to evolve, right? So if you start off with the assumption that these people hold, there's levels to it, right? There's lots of internal biases we don't recognize that we have. And that's a lot of people who are just like, I'm not racist. But you start there, then you can be real careful around these people. And then as they show themselves to be someone trustworthy, then you can like kind of let those walls down. I'm not saying that's foolproof, that that's going to prevent any kind of harm or hurt, but that's just the way that you got to operate, honestly, in this world, being a person with any pigment around a world ran by white people. That's just facts. That's just facts there. So another thing I think is that, how do I say this? I feel like more people need to have conversations with each other directly instead of automatically going to a social platform to post about it, especially sub-posting about it. I'm gonna always call it subtweeting. I'm so sorry. This is not blaming anyone in this situation, and I understand why people do it. Oftentimes, social media has served as a place where people can feel safe to share something. It's helped in a lot. Look at the Me Too movement, a lots of different movements where people have been able to share, then other people can come forward. It gives people courage. Then there's a group of people who can go forward and like make changes. I get that. And every situation is different. Just in some of these, it feels like having those conversations or like stating, hey, this don't feel good up front to people, if you're able to do that, may be a better path than this. And this is not, I'm not saying that anybody here who felt wronged is wrong, because obviously they're the ones to experience that. And I'm just going to believe what you are telling me is your truth. And then obviously we have so many people who are corroborating, and then authors, whether it's this literary agency, it's this PA, there's obviously multiple people saying these people have done wrong. But it's just like, I don't know what this collective coming to the internet does in this situation. I've seen how it helps in others. I don't know what it does. Besides, obviously, make people aware who are probably not going to work with Erica now and are going to be hesitant about signing with the Lunar Agency. So that's obviously helpful. There's been multiple people who've experienced negative things for up and coming authors not to go with this agency. But I just still don't think overall we really get many net positives from this. Today I'm saying, I didn't make this video to be like, look at the book drama. It was something I literally was like, what the fuck is going on? Because I want to know, right? Like, I unfortunately am on the bookish internet. So like, I've been made aware of so many people, creators, authors, shitty behavior. And when there's so many people talking about a situation, I get annoyed and I have to figure it out. So I said, I wasted all this time figuring it out. I'm going to come tell you. But I don't think this isn't, I don't know, hot goss drama. It's just like perpetual things that just like keep happening in the world and the bookish community. And it's like, when we obviously never learn. I say we, I mean them. They obviously never learn. It just keeps happening. So what is the solution? I would love that. What is the actual solution? Like, what can actually create change in this situation? Unfortunately, I don't think a lot of us, the marginalized, have much control over that. Besides, well, I would say creating our own things, but you see that Lunar Literacy has its own allegations against it, and it is created by a woman of color. So that's not perfect either. I would say holding each other accountable, but like, how do we do that? The internet, also this being so like an internet thing, people not knowing people in real life, you're just, hiring or working with people you found online. That can also make accountability more difficult. Someone has the ability to ignore you. You could be trying to call them in and have an honest discussion, and they may just choose to block you or ghost you. So at the end of all of this, I really just don't understand. Also, I wish the people would take a fucking breath, take a moment. Like the thing seeing what Erica has been doing, and you're going to immediately jump to the conclusion, oh, H.M. Wolf must be complicit in that. She hasn't said anything. I mean, I fully believe as an author that you're not spending all of your time on threads and you're actually trying to write books, especially with this new book deal, working on your next book. And so it's just interesting how quickly people love to jump to conclusions. And luckily it seems that we got some clarity relatively quickly so we could smash those allegations. But like often this leads to long lasting negative effects for the person who's being accused of these things. In this case, a Black woman, especially when it is a Black person, a person of color who's being accused of doing something negatively harmful. People are quick and they're like, to cancel that person, I'm not reading them. I'm putting them on my list of authors not to buy. I'm making a video about this person, how they're shitty. And then something comes out and it's like, that wasn't the full truth. So I think there is and you know, people might be like, that's audacious of you to say, considering you make these videos, but I'm making videos based on all of this other information, right? Like I'm not trying to make any insinuations, but I feel like these people, although I don't think you get paid on threads, so I'm kind of confused what the incentive is, but people just love attention. So they see a little bit of something and they latch onto it and they're like, ooh, I'm going to go post about that and I'm going to start a conversation, even if I don't have all of the facts, even if these things can be wrong. And then people start replying, people start talking about it. I think that makes people feel good. It was the same thing like on Twitter. So at the end of all of this, I'm just like, what? Like, okay, we have discourse now, but like the discourse doesn't lead us anywhere. At least it doesn't lead us anywhere. It's just a circle. Because this will pop up again. Something like this. Different players, different agency, different people, but it'll just happen again. Just like we have the conversation of audiobooks aren't reading and how do you guys read so much and consumer like. So those are my thoughts. Now I'm kind of like, maybe I should read Daggermouth just because. I don't know if it's going to be my jam because I don't know how I feel about dystopian romance, but now I'm intrigued. So I don't know. What do you think? And obviously this is not a perfect timeline. Like I cut out so much because there was just too much happening. So if you want to add context in the comments, like feel free and tell me your opinions. But as always, keep it cute and keep it respectful, honey. But that's it. Damn. That tired me out. Well, I need to eat. Stay blessed, hydrated, moisturized, and sunscreen. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I'm hungry.